Hello everybody, this is Earl Harville of Harville Vocal Studio, back with you again. Today, I want to tackle the issues of the tongue. Taming the tongue. The tongue is an extremely strong muscle or set of muscles that if those muscles start to engage while we're in the singing process, it really makes our singing that much more difficult. And so it's an issue I've been seeing a lot with students in my studio. And so I decided that I would revisit this issue. I touched on it a little bit before, but I decided this one needed its own separate video. First thing I'm going to do is to show you some tongue stretches that I became aware of when I was diagnosed with a hemorrhagic polyp on my left vocal fold. And my speech pathologist that I saw at the time, Nathan Waller, showed me these great tongue stretches that have become a part of my daily routine. The first one has you sticking your tongue out and up for about a count of 4 and release, and repeat that about 2 or 3 more times. And then the tongue is stretched out and down again for about a count of 4 and repeated 2 or 3 times. Then the tongue goes out and to the side for a count of 4, repeat 2 or 3 times. On the opposite side, release, do 2 or 3 more times. My favorite is when you place the tip of the tongue behind the lower front teeth and you allow the rest of the tongue to come out of your mouth. And release, or as far forward as it will come out of your mouth. I find that one to be one of the best stretches. For me personally, I really feel that stretch near the very back of my tongue. And release. Again, 2, 3, 4 times at max. Another good one is just to take your tongue and basically rotate it around your teeth, one direction and then the other. And by the time you're done, you should really feel a nice little stretch of these muscles right back here, which tend to bunch up either from, a lot of vocal usage, a lot of talking, or even if your body is just tired, I've noticed that the tongue tension will set in. Now, there's some great vocal exercises that we use, which have double purposes that also serve to help loosen the tongue. One of the exercises that I've started to use quite a bit in the last couple of years is a hum with the tongue sticking out like so. So it's got multiple benefits. One is that just like a regular hum, you get a good resonant warm-up going and you're starting to get good vocal fold closure. But in addition, it gives you a tongue stretch at the same time. So I use this one quite a bit. For ladies, I would generally start them around the E below middle C. And we can either do the octave and a half pattern. Some of the ladies can go all the way up to a high G, high A flat, even a high A on that sound. I have a few who vocalize quite easily up to their high C on that one. The guys, I generally, for the tenors, I would generally start them on a low B flat. Baritones, probably on a G. Baritones and basses. You can also use just a simple octave arpeggio. Octave and the mixed double octave also works very well. I like that pattern a lot because you're jumping the larger intervals, so the voice has to learn to give up any tensions that are counterproductive so that the voice can make those large leaps in pitch. So that's a great one. a personal favorite of mine. Another one that I find to be super, super effective is the NG sound. Like at the end of the word sing or rung. This one, again, is great for vocal fold closure. Again, helping us to feel that resonance in the mask area. But it also helps to release the tongue. So, again, octave and a half pattern works great for this. Again, I would start the females, if we're going to do the octave and a half, around a low E. And the tenors around a B flat. Baritones and basses around a G or an F. I also like to do that one on a descending scale because we tend to have a sense of release coming down. And I love this one. I find this one to be a great one if I feel like my voice is a little tired. This is a great way to kind of release it. Okay, so that's another really good one that's useful. There's one that's very much related to it. It's the lung exercise. So you're going from the NG to an and back to the NG again. This one I like particularly doing it with an octave scale with the repeated top note like this. So it's not necessarily meant to be a huge sounding exercise, but again, it helps to get some release in that tongue root. And of course, the other benefit is getting some good vocal fold closure. An old one that comes back from my college days is the laga laga exercise. Laga 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 laga. So we're moving from an L, dropping to an ah, where the tip of the tongue goes up for the L, drops for ah. The back of the tongue then goes up to make the G, and then drops for the ah. So the tongue has to keep kind of doing this fluid motion, so it helps it from getting too tight. Laga 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 laga. 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 Didn't like that last note too well, but you get the point. So these are all some good exercises that are great for releasing the tongue, and they tend to also have a benefit of good fold closure and or some good resonance awareness. Now, one last one I'll show, its principal job is to exercise the edge muscles in the vocal folds to help them close, and to attempt to get rid of extrinsic muscle interference from outside of your larynx. It's the creak sound. A very tiny sound. Again, its principal job is to work on fold closure and the thin inner edges of the folds. But as part of that, we're also monitoring the hyoid and digrastic muscles right here. Evil, very strong muscles that tend to want to get involved while we're trying to sing, which then makes our singing so much more difficult. So while you're doing the creak, which is done pretty light, but with that light glottal, that slight glottal onset, keep your thumbs here so that you can feel if there's a pressure down from the tongue against your thumbs, which you don't want, because if there's a great pressure there, that means that those muscles are really trying to engage, which is going to make your singing much more difficult as you go higher. Even if I'm going into my high range, I don't want to feel that move. Again, a great little exercise. I don't necessarily do that exercise every day as part of my daily warm-up, but I do try to use it a couple times a week just to kind of double check on the voice. And it can be very, very useful in a voice that's still in its earlier part of its training. Very, very effective. So I hope this proves to be really helpful for you. I know for me, these exercises are still a part of most of them are part of my daily regime to make sure that the tongue does not tense and become a problem like it used to be in my earlier singing days. If you're looking for vocal training, you can come to me either in person in the Northwest Indiana area or via Skype. You can go to my website, www.harvillevoice.com. That's www.harvillevoice.com to find out more information. I look forward to hearing from you. If you've got any questions, you can contact me there or on my Facebook page, Harville Vocal Studio. Look forward to hearing from you. Keep singing, and bye-bye.